Have you ever found a surprise lily growing in your yard or garden? That surprise bloomer is called a rain lily or fairy lily. This rain lily is in my yard and it's growing out from under the lattice that's around my deck. I've been here in this location for 13 years and never had rain lilies here. I've had them in previous locations, but never here. And I did not plant this. They pop up after a heavy rain, hence the name. Rain lilies grow from bulbs first and foremost. That's their main mode of spreading and surviving. They self-propagate quietly underground and will lie dormant until conditions are right, usually after a heavy rain or a change in humidity. Birds, wind, a past owner, and even a bag of potting soil may have introduced the bulb without your knowledge. These bulbs multiply over time by making little baby bulblets or offsets around the mother bulb. You can dig and divide them every few years to spread them or give them away to other gardeners. They can also grow from seed. After they bloom, some varieties will form seed pods. The seeds are small, black, and papery, like tiny flakes. Self-seeding is rare, but possible, especially in the right moisture and soil conditions. Most gardeners don't bother starting them from seed because it can take 2 to 3 years before they'll bloom. So while technically they can grow from seed, that's not how most rain lilies show up in gardens. It's almost always thanks to a bulb, either planted on purpose or one that got carried in and decided to settle down. They are toxic to pets if eaten in large amounts, so watch those pets around them. Rain lilies don't follow the traditional bloom all summer game plan. They're more like surprise guests. They pop in after a good rain, show off for a couple of days, and then vanish until they feel like showing up again. Each bloom lasts generally 2 to 4 days. They usually open the day after a good rain and close up within a few days. But each bulb can send up multiple flowers over the season. They can bloom all summer, but it is sporadic. They tend to rebloom in flushes after each significant rain. In a humid, warm climate like mine, Zone 8A, they will repeat this cycle from late spring to early fall. If there's a dry spell, they'll just nap underground and wait for the next moisture surge. To encourage more blooms, water them occasionally if there's no rain, especially if you want to trick them into blooming. Leave the foliage alone after flowering. It feeds the bulb for the next round. A little light fertilizer like bulb food or a balanced 10-10-10 in the spring can give them a boost. Some common rain lily colors are pink. They come in deep and pale pink. White, the white rain lily is also called Peruvian swamp lily. Yellow, these are soft, buttery yellow blooms, and they love warm climates, and they also bloom in waves. Peachy orange, which are less common. These are sold by specialty bulb sellers or online. Bicolored or variegated. Some hybrids and newer cultivars have mixed tones on them. They are not common. You can generally find them at online bulb nurseries, occasionally in garden centers, and local plant swaps or fellow gardeners. Most rain lilies, especially the pretty pinks, are not native to the U.S. They were introduced from Central and South America, and people have been planting them in gardens for decades. They get moved by digging, critters, or even being transferred to compost piles accidentally. They can hide for years until the conditions are right. Once they're in the ground, though, rain lilies are quite tough and sneaky. Birds, squirrels, and rainwater can spread the little bulblets and seeds. That's why you'll sometimes find them blooming in ditches, on old homesteads, or empty lots. So while they're not true natives or naturally wind carried wildflowers, they've become semi wild in many states. Hopefully, you'll have a surprise rain lily show up in your yard to enjoy for years to come, or maybe you can just find some to plant on purpose. I hope you liked this video and found it interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to follow my channel for more gardening videos, raising chickens and goats, cooking and preserving foods from the garden, be sure to subscribe. And don't forget the notification bell for new uploads. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.